Well, it's been a long time since we mentioned some champagne sloppy. Oh my goodness. Every time we try to get away from this guy, he finds his way back into the storyline. I have tried to not talk about this because I don't like talking about champagne sloppy. When they gone, they gone. It's the Alpha and Omega and welcome home. This the blueprint on how to get in. Gone. This dude is gone. This dude got an album with Party Next Door that ain't coming out to probably 2080, folks. This dude can't even drop his album. This dude has messed up entirely. He got everybody else speaking up for him in defense of him in spite of him. Now, Spotify has finally decided to answer this pre-action lawsuit that he filed and put together. The threat of a lawsuit, which didn't quite sit well with Spotify. So we're going to get into all of that, all this weirdo behavior with this individual, all the antics that's been happening, as pretty much everybody said, well, it's typical, sound like Drake. Lawsuit, yeah, lost. Can't believe he lost, so he turned into a lawsuit. Sounds like typical with something like Drake would do. Like Wiz Khalifa, he couldn't help but break that down. Because in the industry, that's how they see Drake. That's exactly what it broke down to, is that this is vintage Drake. Now, Drake, through his company, Frozen Moments, accused the streaming giant company Spotify and its own label, UMG, of artificially inflating streaming numbers for Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us. He accused UMG of defamation. UMG is the world's largest music company and distributes Kendrick Lamar's recordings as well as Drake's and probably everybody else, right? Now, in response to all of this, Spotify has filed opposition papers, basically opposing said, charges against them, which a spokesperson says Spotify has no economic incentive for users to stream Not Like Us over any other Drake's tracks. Only one of Spotify for Artists tools, Marquee, was purchased on behalf of that song. And that was £500 to promote, francs, to promote the track in France. Marquee is a visual ad that is disclosed to users as a sponsored recommendation. Now, it says relevant points in the opposition papers include, contrary to the allegations in the petition, UMG and Spotify have never had any arrangement in which UMG charged Spotify licensing rates 30% lower than its usual licensing rate for Not Like Us, in exchange for Spotify's affirmatively recommending Not Like Us, including to users who are searching for other songs and artists. Now, let's stop here, because this is where it gets a little different. Because according to social media pundits like Rory and Mal, Rory claims that this 30% lower rate he was the one to bring that to light and said they're charging 30% lower rate than the usual with Spotify and all of this thing. And they saying this is not true. They also said they have no incentive in having Not Like Us beat Drake. They don't care. Like, it does not matter to them. Why would Spotify care? Because they're getting paid. If the people like the song, that's perfect for them. They have users. They're in the user business, not the song business. Now, when Spotify had to pay money on Drake's behalf because they were promoting Drake's music and putting it in people's pages, they looked at it as advertisement. But whenever an artist is dropping new songs, they want to put out all of their songs and put them on the home pages. The only artist I've ever seen promoted like that was Drake. So if they did that for you, they definitely hadn't done that for Kendrick. They haven't forced Kendrick on everybody's pages like they did yours. So it does not matter to them if Not Like Us beats Drake because they get paid anyway. They're in the user business. That's like Netflix saying, like, hey man, you push that movie more than my movie. Why Netflix would care? They don't care. Netflix does not care what you watch. Okay. Another company might spend marketing dollars to have it promoted more on Netflix, saying, hey, we want this promoted, put it at the top of the list of when the movie goes off, it could get recommended and stuff like that. But Netflix don't care. They care about the subscribers, the users. That's what's in it for them. Those subscribers, those users. Other than that, they have no motivation. No smoking, no smoking gun here. Okay? Why would Spotify care? They don't. They get paid either way, so they care about their users. If are they losing users? That's what they care about. So no. But this 30% rate. Now, 30% lower than its usual licensing rate for Not Like Us in exchange for Spotify recommendations for Not Like Us to users who are searching for other songs. Wow. So, it also stated that there was no evidence found. No evidence found. Let's blow that up. Look at that. No evidence found. No evidence to support Drake's petition claim that an unnamed individual used bots to falsely boost the song streams by 30 million and emphasized its extensive efforts to combat artificial streaming. A spokesperson for Drake's legal team responded on Friday saying, it's not surprising that Spotify is trying to distance themselves from UMG's alleged manipulative practices to artificially inflate streaming numbers on behalf of one of its other artists. Spotify and UMG have nothing to hide, and they should be perfectly fine complying with this basic discovery request. Shortly after the first of the two legal actions against UMG, the spokesperson slammed the accusation, saying the suggestion of UMG would do anything to undermine any of its artists is offensive and untrue. We employ the highest ethic practices in our marketing and promotional campaigns. No amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments in this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans chose the music they want to hear. Boom. So they're letting you know right here that what they're talking about is completely irrelevant to the point. You can't get around the fact that the people chose what they wanted to hear. It was the number one song. Hell, I just played it today. Yeah, I know. It's a great song. I recommend you play it. And Kendrick Lamar didn't pay me to say that. Just one day after Drake filed his petition accusing UMG of conspiring with Spotify to falsely boost Kendrick Lamar's numbers, the Canadian disgraced rapper filed a second action, this one in Texas, claiming that UMG was aware that the song falsely accused him of pedophilia, but chose to distribute it anyway. Another claim that's false, but we'll continue. It also claims that UMG funneled payments to iHeart, the country's largest radio network, as part of a pay to play scheme to promote the song on radio. With regards to the defamation allegations, the petition says the company could have refused to release or distribute the song or require the offending material to be edited or removed. But UMG chose to do the opposite. UMG designed, financed, and executed a plan to turn Not Like Us into a viral mega hit with the intent of using the spectacle of harm to Drake and his businesses to drive consumers' hysteria and, of course, massive revenues. The plan succeeded, likely beyond UMG's wildest expectations. Wow. So, what they're saying here, and I'm glad Drake people have put this out, right? Is what they're saying is that your businesses were affected, right? So you got to report losses. Where are the losses? Hmm? So you're not making money, right? So everything Carcino has said about you has been true. That your businesses is contingent on your success as a rapper. When you're no longer the top rapper or record seller or whatever, when you're not popping, your businesses will fail. And we're starting to see that now. Your businesses are failing. See, I believe in a whole new system. It's like the merit system, right? You do things to a certain degree or you don't get any points. Now, we've been in the game a long time. We've seen a lot. True, we've seen a lot. Now, with this right here, what you're seeing is that they're crying because this song has become massive. One song became a viral mega hit. And of course, that led to massive and mega revenues, likely beyond anything that they could ever imagine. because the song actually just happened to be what it is. To be clear, these petitions are not lawsuits. They're pre action filings intended to take depositions from key figures at UMG and iHeart in order to obtain more information for the potential future lawsuit. While the petition claims Drake attorneys, right, have already had enough evidence of defamation, they say they are considering actions of civil fraud and racketeering. Similarly, the petition stops short of actually alleging defamation, but it does says Drake attorneys have amassed sufficient facts to pursue certain tortious claims against UMG, including not but limited to a claim for defamation, but currently lacks factual support necessary to determine where he may bring claims of civil fraud and racketeering against UMG and many of its yet unidentified co-conspirators who violated payola laws and accepted illicit payments and other things of value from UMG without disclosure. It also should be noted that neither artist is signed directly to UMG. Both artists are now at a level where they own their own masters and are signed with their own companies. Drake's OVO and Lamar's PG Lang, and licensed their music to Universal labels for marketing and distribution. Now, Drake's OVO is not even a real record label, okay? Um, Drake is with Relativity. That's the record label he's with. PG Lang and Relativity, Drake does not own. What is that? Is it? I think it's Relativity or Relative Records or whatever. Yeah, so he's not even. He's got OVO Sound, but that's not the company that they're talking about. PG Lang is actually Kendrick's company. So Drake's label is signed to a company, and they're distributed uh, through Universal labels for marketing and distribution. While close sources are saying the situation claims that Drake's petition is about Universal, the label has distributed his music since he first signed with Lil Wayne Young Money label in 2009. Rather than Spotify, iHeart, or even Kendrick directly, it hardly seems coincidental that the legal action is based around the song at the center of a long running feud between the two artists. Not Like Us is a rare diss track that not only topped the Billboard's Hot 100, but is nominated for multiple Grammy Awards. Multiple. Earlier this year, Kendrick Lamar piled on a series of increasingly personal diss tracks against Drake, not only accusing him of having relationships with underage women, which Drake has denied, as well as children not revealed to the public, and has gone far to address Drake's son Adonis, his mother, and his songs. Drake released songs in response, but soon removed them from his socials and then went silent. The beef calmed down after a man was shot outside of Drake's Toronto residence in May, but fired up again with the surprise release of Lamar's new GNX album last month. It seems possible that having quite clearly lost the battle with Lamar in the virtual streets of hip hop creed, Drake may be trying to stake up the stakes by taking it to court. How that plays out is an open question. Oh my God. It's not an open question. It's a ridiculous question that may never go to court ever because he would have to sue Kendrick Lamar. He's trying to do everything to go around suing Kendrick Lamar and is making it bad because you're taking it to court. and then the whole world gets to see you take it to court. Nobody's going to support you after that. You see, this is clown behavior. And when you take that kind of approach, you really play your own hand, and it looks sad. It really does. It looked really pathetic. But this is an act of desperation. This is somebody throwing a Hail Mary up because they feel they don't have anything left. They don't have no other moves.
Yeah.
This is all they got on the table.
Wow.
This is all they have on the table left. So what direction do we have to go? What choice do we have? That's pretty much the position he's in now is, what else could I do? This is all I know how to do. So I get it. I do, honestly, but this is a wrap. This whole situation did not play like it didn't go the way I think Drake thought it was gonna go. Now, of course, he's trying to get this thing stopped from the Super Bowl. That's not going to stop anything. A pre-action lawsuit based on frivolous claims from so-called co-conspirators that claim they did work for Kendrick Lamar. They had no proof, and this person was on academics' payroll. And if academics get himself involved any more than what he is, running these plays, guy talking about 30 million views, he's going to realize that things are going to backfire on him in a way that he never dreamed in his life. And you think Drake is going to be the one to bail you out? No. He's in a boat that's sinking right now because all of his businesses that's contingent on his success as a rapper is starting to dry up, and those bills are going to start to pile up. That big old mansion you got, and that's why you're trying to go into this sports gambling thing with stake and all this craziness, because you are trying to get any other money outside everywhere else you can. But those bills and the taxes is always going to be due. No matter how much money you making, how much you losing, the bill is always coming due. So, yeah, it's time to get real. It's time to grow up. All this stupidity and dumb people are doing right now is just not making any sense. So, I'm really just tired of Drake, period. It's just, dude, if either you come with music, use your music to get you out of it. He's been putting out music and it was just trash. The music wasn't good. He tried the same old rendition, and just that now your music fell on deaf ears because your own listeners are tired of the same old rendition from you. You have nothing new to add. Kendrick's out here put out a whole album without even dissing you, really, but the album is dissing you. The whole album was a vibe, a bop, and people love the GNX album. And they said, all right, this is something different from Drake. Drake can't make that album. Drake can't make a GNX album. He can't. He could try a million times and couldn't do it. It's not his vibe. It's not his style. He couldn't do anything of that nature. He's not creative. He's just bland. So He's going to continue to give you what he thinks y'all want. And now he's stuck in a rut because he's like, man, the people that I thought was riding with me are not riding with me. Why? What's hot right now? Who's hot? Who's got a hot song that I could jump on? Is Sexy Red? No female rapper got a stripper song that's popping right now? Man, I need to get on that wave. And right now, he's not on that wave. So people are going to have to wake up one day and realize that this is a different situation and they're going to have to come to terms in, one way or another, You're going to have to come to terms with everything that's going down. Well, Drake is somebody who's put himself in this position. Champagne sloppy. He's champagne sloppy for a reason. Everything he does is sloppy. He doesn't know how to do anything any other way. Being sloppy is his forte. He's used to getting all his attention and everything. When the money dries up, those people around you are gone. So if you feel strongly about these pre-action claims, UMG and Spotify are both saying, F you, go ahead and file it. Go ahead and take it to court for real. Go ahead and drop that lawsuit if you feel strong. Go ahead, make it a real lawsuit. They don't care. So they've made their statement and they let it be known. So go ahead, do what you want to do. Go to discovery, do all this crap you want to do legally. Because y'all just want to drag this out so it don't get played at the Super Bowl. Kendrick was never going to use your name anyway at the Super Bowl. He would never give you that publicity. But the song is going to be loud and cranking. What? Oh, man, are you kidding? They ready to erupt. And quit telling that lie. The man did not call you a pedo. Kendrick is smarter than that. He did not call you a pedo. He said you like him young. Hey Drake, I hear you like him young. And do you want to go through your dating history of you dating teenagers? Taking teenagers out on dates? Do you want to do that? Do we want to talk about Flocka Sita? Flocka Sita. You want to talk about her? You want to talk about which one you want? Is teenager on your left, teenager on your right? Which one? It's not enough. Too many lame ass Drakes, not enough. Oh man, look. I think that we've come to the impasse here. A man is struggling and fighting to save his career, and this is the only option he has. He's promoting an album of himself and Party Next Door coming out when it got cold. He promoted an album that was supposed to come out in the summertime. It never came. So you got two failures for your fan base. So if you're a Drake fan, what are you actually a fan of? Why aren't you supporting his records? He released about 3-4 songs, right? The It's Up and all that. Why y'all not supporting his records? Y'all were fans of him. Why are you not supporting his records? And I love when people say, you were the biggest Drake fan in the world. I used to like Drake music. Now I can't listen to him at all. He's a scumbag. When people show you who they are, you believe them. Now, if somebody show you that they're a piece of crap, then you got to question, why are you listening to them? And after all the actions he did throughout this thing, it kind of turns you off from listening to him. All the actions he's done to himself. Spiraling out of control. Moving just like a degenerate. That's him. And y'all think I'm talking about Drake bad. I'm not. I'm pointing out what's actually been stated. And then how factually true Drake is personifying that. Spiraling. Moving like a degenerate. So I'm not talking crap about Drake. I'm telling you the truth about the scumbag. It just is what it is. And he's at a point now where Kendrick could just poke him forever. And they don't even mention the loser's name. And it still hurts. Anytime he make an album, anytime he says any little reference to it. Don't put your life in these weird niggas' hands, baby. We know who that's for. We know what that's about. And we know who the weird nigga is. That's him. Now, if Drake was a real man, he would have lost his battle and still been able to flourish and have a good career after it was done. The actions he took after this battle with the fake shooting at his house, the fake break-ins, all of this stuff that he was trying, it's just, it was too much. It's too much. He really disappointed me. You know, he acted like a little boy. A little boy. You need to act your age and not your son's age. That's what he should have done. But he chose stupidity. He chose this angle. He chose to go down a road that didn't need to be. So for everybody else, I want to say thank y'all for listening. Don't forget to go to the Patreon, which is Carcino for Life. And we will have a lot more there for you. Thanks to everybody who want to support the page. You can go to my Cash App, which is Carcino. And for everybody who super chatted, bless you. And we're out. We out this day.